Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for the day. We're going back into r/AmITheDevil where, it's like Am I the A-hole except it's a certified 100% yes. So you know what to do. Hit the like button, leave a comment down below because the algorithm goes mix serotonin in my brain. And if you guys haven't already, subscribe and turn on the notifications. Lego. Am I the A-hole for starting a family feud over double booking my baby's first birthday? My partner, 33F, and I, 40M, were planning my son's first birthday, which happens to fall on the Monday after Father's Day. At a recent family gathering, we asked for scheduling feedback. The family was ambivalent. There was a lot of, oh well, make whatever work, and, well, if we are going to get together anyway, we might as well just have the B-Day party that day. So we planned the B-Day for this coming Father's Day at 1 p.m. Great! Not so fast. A couple of weeks later, today, and there is a message in the family group chat from my sister stating that we are planning a Father's Day brunch at our place at 10:30 a.m. and asking for RSVPs. After staring at the message in disbelief for a good minute, I state that, as we discussed, we will be hosting baby's birthday that afternoon, and we won't be able to do both. Partner and I are baffled. Input was sought to avoid this exact scenario, and we literally cannot attend their family event because we'll be setting up our family event at another location. I wrote to explain that we did the early recon and planning with them so that we could avoid scheduling issues. I tried to highlight that we couldn't attend this if we wanted to, and the whole thing was rather confusing and hurtful. I threw an afterthought message of, but anyways, what's done is done and there's no fix to this point. If you're coming to the birthday party, I guess we'll just see you there. A sister says that she did not intend to offend or disrespect, but that she always does a Father's Day event, and her kids would be upset if they did not. This is only true in her own household. She does not host our family Father's Day celebration annually. She says she is sorry if offense was taken, and that I think we misunderstood each other because I never intended that we weren't celebrating Father's Day, just that we could do both. I took issue with that and responded that she misunderstood or didn't communicate because I specifically sought clearance to plan for this day. And if there was already a plan, it should have been communicated then so we could reschedule. I finished this message asking for accountability. At this point, my brother says he and his wife are also planning it, and sorry if you're offended, but not sorry that we are planning said brunch. Sister then says that she is fine with her accountability, and again, sorry if I'm upset. She says, I did not understand that you meant the rest of my day wasn't free to myself. Partner says it is just a confusing surprise not to be involved in any of the planning when we tried to preemptively avoid this problem. Sister here says that she doesn't see the problem with doing both, so I'm a little confused about the drama. No disrespect was intended. At this point, I kinda blew up and finished with ignorant, obtuse, insensitive, call it what you will. My brother and sister left the group chat, and I feel like years of growth and connection just got torpedoed. FYI, first time posting and heavily redacted to meet the max character count. I mean, there very much are two easy solutions for this. Either you set stuff up for the birthday party ahead of time and then you can do the brunch and then the birthday party, or you just tell them, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it to your brunch because I'm going to be setting up the birthday party thing. Very much not, you can't just tell people you can't do something because, hey, I got this thing a little bit later, but even though things can very much line up schedule-wise, you're not allowed to do it because I already called dibs on the whole day. How to work past my 33M infidelity with my wife 33F. What steps can we take? There's a long and complicated background, but I'll try not to go on too long. Yeah, the caption on this one from the cross post says, my wife's fault that I cheated, so this is about to be as, deep as a shallow kiddie pool. To start off, things were great. My wife and I found each other 8 years ago at just the right time. She had just gotten out of a long-term relationship with a guy, and they broke up because of their parents. Hers is racist and didn't want her being with a black American. Her and I are both from the same culture. Still, she then was initially distant, but eventually she opened up when we hit it off. The time we were together was amazing. We traveled, tried new things, great under the sheet shufflings, etc. I had so much fun with her. It was my first adult relationship where we both had money and could spoil each other. Pretty soon, we were married and had a lot of fun. Not even 4 months ago, we had a baby, and that's where things went south fast. My wife stopped doing the little things that made me fall in love with her. Now, she's not fully at fault here. I could have helped more with the baby, but she also could have put more effort into our relationship. I think what hurt the most is there was a time where my friend in front of my wife claimed I was going out too much for someone with a newborn. He talked about when him and his wife had a baby, he didn't go out for a while because babies are too much. My wife agreed and pretty much aired her grievances to my friend. I was humiliated and embarrassed. She didn't feel any remorse either. Fast forward a couple of weeks, and there's this fun place where you bowl and drink. I ran into my wife's friend. We start chatting, and under the influence of alcohol, we started opening up. I told her the problems I had with my wife, and she had the exact same problems with her ex-husband. After her having a baby, her husband completely changed, and there was no romance. She said, my wife needs to do her part in bringing the fun back into the relationship. It was nice to get someone who actually understands, and have been through what I have been through. Boundaries started being crossed, and we went from an emotional affair to a physical one. My wife found out, and afterwards just shut down. I struggle with feeling guilty because she's not herself. I've been sleeping in the basement. We have a pretty nice basement. I honestly don't know where to go from here, but I know we both just need to take a step back and admit our mistakes if we want to save the marriage. Edit, I'm most likely going to be making a new account to post it because I didn't explain it well. I did help out with the parenting and childcare. I get off before her and usually was the one picking him up from my parents. I do admit I could have done more, but you're all looking at it from a perspective as if I didn't help at all, and that's not true. Even her own friend felt my wife wasn't doing enough. This isn't about blaming anyone, but we can't move forward without everyone taking some responsibility. Yeah, that initial cross-posting caption I mentioned at the beginning really trying to come out. Yes, you did not pull your weight in the relationship after, popping out a whole human being. So, I feel like we're kind of both at fault here. I'm sorry I slept with that person. You should be sorry that you're not doing the same as you were before the kid was born and everything. It's not like having a kid happens to be a big shit ton of responsibility. I hope you wear that mindset on your shirt like a name tag, you dingus. Putting both people at equal fault, even though one person very much is in the wrong. Yeah, way to go, YouTube apology acceptance forum format. Am I the a-hole for threatening to sell my brother's concert tickets and pocket the money? Yeah, toy. Yeah, you are. My brother, 21J, and I, 23L, are planning to go to a music festival later in the year. This is a 3-day event with dozens of artists, many of which would be hard enough to see in concert currently because of all of their tours being sold out. I fought for 40 minutes to get 2 tickets at the price of $375. For a music festival with these artists, and for it to be a 3 days, is a steal considering I paid $250 alone to see one of the artists. Now, my brother has a girlfriend, B. Just to preface, I actually like his girlfriend. She is really sweet and has always been kind to me and to Jay. Here's where the problem lies. Jay is moving in with B the week before the festival. This past week, he confessed to me that he didn't want to leave his girlfriend alone because she was clingy. I told him, fine, if he didn't want to come to the concert, then I would sell his ticket. He had already paid me the difference and pocketed the money. Now, Jay is mad at me because he says it's his money. I told him that he sees his girlfriend every day, but I only see him 2 times a year. Even when I see him, all he wants to do is talk on the phone with B. I thought it was just a honeymoon phase thing, but they have been together for well over 2 years, and it hasn't let up. My mom is now calling me an a-hole because it's his money, and I should pay him back once I sell the tickets. I told her there was no takebacks. If he wants to utilize the money, he can, God forbid, spend a week with me and go to the festival. Am I the a-hole? Yeah, give him his frickin' money back, you dumb. Let me see if I got this straight. Okay, so they gave you the money to get the tickets. Just because they aren't able to go, that does not mean you get to now then keep the money from selling the ticket. It's their money, you better give them back their money, and I'm fairly certain if you don't, there's gonna be some bad things coming your way on the legal sense. Because God forbid, their honeymoon phase happened to be a little longer than you anticipated. You know, it's almost as if some people actually really like each other. Am I the a-hole for wanting TV time between me and my brother to be proportionate? So I, 22M, live in an apartment with my brother, Jake, 26M. I've been dating my girlfriend Laura, 19F, for 2 years, and I've lived in this apartment the entire time we've been together. Laura doesn't live with me, but she stays over at my apartment in my room multiple nights a week, and we usually watch TV in the living room before bed. We usually use the TV at night around 4 nights a week. Jake never really uses the TV and would usually just use his laptop in his room to watch something on a streaming service, so this worked out before. Jake had recently started dating Mara, 30F. She was fine and got along with me and Laura, so I never minded her coming over to hang out with Jake. One night, I get home with Laura, and we were gonna watch TV, but Mara and Jake were already using it. This was annoying, but I didn't say anything, and we just went to my room. The next day, I got home from work, and Jake was watching TV again with Mara. I didn't want this to be an argument later or a recurring issue, so I told Jake we needed to discuss sharing the TV, and he agreed. Later that night, I told Jake that splitting the TV was fine, but I think that I should get to use it 3 or 4 days a week, and he should get it 1 to 2 because I've been with Laura longer, and I've been doing that to spend time together for our whole relationship, so it's more important. Jake got mad at me and said this is unreasonable, and that I can't expect him to still use his laptop in his room because it's smaller and more uncomfortable for 2 people. I explained that me and Laura's history was the only reason for this, and it wasn't to make him feel like I was pulling rank, and that if they were together for longer, it would allot to more time, in my opinion. He just left and went to his room, and I didn't see him again. After this, I noticed he was rarely home in the evenings anymore. He usually came back later to go to bed, and Mara was never with him. After a week of this, I asked why he never was home, and he explained that he spends most of his time at Mara's place. I asked why, and he said that I am annoying and entitled, and it's not worth the petty arguments. I asked for examples, and he mentioned the TV along with other things, but mainly discussed the TV. I told him he should have said something earlier instead of avoiding me and getting pissed. He didn't even respond to me and just left. I'm starting to feel bad because I didn't know it affected him like this. Am I the a-hole? Yeah, without a doubt. So you were perfectly fine with your brother watching stuff on the computer, but God forbid they happen to also now get a girlfriend and y'all need to be sharing the TV, but for some reason your split was an 80-20 in favor of you because you've been in a relationship with your significant other longer than your brother has. It sounds so immature. So when your brother finds a solution in not being around the house to have to deal with you saying, "Hey man, it's my turn with the TV," you got upset that he wasn't around to have to tolerate your annoying butt. Dang, God forbid somebody happened to find a solution to their problems. I wonder what else dingbat here would be trying to pull rank on when just because they happen to have been in a relationship longer. Am I the jerk for calling a pregnant woman ugly? Anybody else get the thought of how dumb you gotta be to ask that question come to mind? Because I hope I'm not the only one. This was a few years ago. I, 20M, worked in a warehouse. One of my coworkers, let's just call her Shrek, middle-aged F, had just had a baby and recently came back to work. I usually paid Shrek no mind. We didn't run in similar circles, plus I wasn't exactly fond of her as a person anyway. so there wasn't too much of a reason for us to interact. To give you an idea of the kind of human being Shrek was, she was kind of the person who sides with the villain of a story. For example, I was listening to Bill Burr's Monday Morning Podcast. Great listen, check it out. And Bill was covering a story where a husband finds out that his wife of 14 years cheated on him on their wedding day. He found this out when they had a chance meeting with the waiter his wife banged in the same bed they consummated the marriage in. Shrek overhears the story and blurts out that the waiter is messy, and why would he blow up that woman's marriage like that? I asked Shrek in return, well, was the wife not messy to cheat on her husband on their wedding day? Shrek had nothing to say to that. One day, however, we crossed paths on the way back from the break room. She started talking to me, and because of social politeness, I talked back. I don't remember how the conversation started, but we somehow got on the subject of my religion. I think she'd asked/interrogated me about why I never worked on Saturdays. I responded honestly, Saturday is the Sabbath. I was raised Christian. Shrek kinda looked at me up and down, gets a smug sneer on her face, and replies something along the lines of, really? You don't look like the kind of person who'd believe in God. At this point, I go deadpan, social politeness switch off, and I retort, well, Shrek, you don't look like the kind of person anybody would want to get pregnant, yet you still had a baby. Shrek has no response. She just stops walking and stares at me with her jaw dropped. I walked away, done with this conversation. Over the next few weeks, several coworkers that I did actually have report came up with me and asked things like, dang, how could you say such mean things to Shrek? And dang, I didn't know you were so mean, OP. Yeah, she told our coworkers what I said. I should have known she would. Women tell each other everything. Excuse my misogyny, was that tea? And Shrek was the gossipy type anyways. Every time they'd ask me things, I'd ask them in return. Well, did Shrek also tell you that she made fun of my religion beforehand? And that's why I said what I said. They all said no, Shrek didn't tell them that part. Convenient. Regardless of me clearing things up with those who asked, I'd still already earned the reputation of mean guy to all my coworkers that Shrek told. I never got called into HR about it though. I guess Shrek realized that if she escalated it, then she'd also be on the hook for making fun of my religion. Let's get one thing straight. If you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. But if you go out of your way to be catty and disrespectful to me, I don't feel obligated to be nice to you either. That is reasonable. I know I wasn't wrong to say what I said. Being the a-hole doesn't always mean you're wrong, per se. I just want to know if I am indeed the a-hole here. I'm not really religious anymore. I've reached the age of logic and reason, lol. So I guess Shrek was right in the end. Womp womp. TLDR, pregnant coworker made fun of my religion, so I made fun of her face. And the fact that those two things have absolutely nothing to do with each other, just for some reason it felt like an easy cop-out response to you, is putting you in the wrong, because, yeah, no, they made fun of your religion, just saying that you don't look like the type of person who would be religious, so for some reason you thought going after their physical appearance was a reasonable response. Going after somebody's appearance for some reason when it has absolutely nothing there is like people going after other people saying, yeah, that's why you got small pecker energy. It just is some kind of cheap cop-out insult and doesn't go after anything whatsoever and doesn't have anything to do with what is being discussed. And if anything, it just wasn't really an insult, it was more of an assumption. Like, all that she said was, oh, you don't look like the religious type. So if that winds up coming around to bite you in the butt, I'd say you got the karma coming. All that on top of the fact that for some reason for this story you decided to call her Shrek. Yeah, that's not exactly a good thing. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister to save and invest and then insults her when she declines? For context, I am 18, getting ready for college, aka unemployed. My sister is 22 and works in a fast food place. We live in New York City and my family isn't well off, but we are not starving either. She works and goes to school at the same time, and the rest of the day is spent on the bed chatting on phone or the TV. When she does work, it's 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. She makes around 1.5 a month. Anyways, she has this habit of spending that is really bad. Like, every meal she would always look for takeout alternatives, and all drinks she drank were always juice or soda, never water. She also completely has a lack of concept of nutrition. Basically, I think her life and habits are a complete mess right now, while she thinks I'm a lazy bum for not being able to find a summer job. The problem have been consistent. The problem have been consistent, where every time I point out her unhealthy lifestyle and told her to use compound interest right now to make $1 million for retirement, she would avoid me or just tell me that I'm stupid. This happens daily. I take a personal offense to this and call her back, telling her that her habits is just not smart, to which she should glare at me and say something along the lines of, "You don't know how to do anything," and, "Oh, so you don't want this?" referring to the things she brought me, such as this phone or the food we are currently eating. I would usually shut up after that, but just today was the breaking point, where we were eating out again and I told her these exact words, "Save and invest," which she replied with, "I don't save," and I straight up told her, "You are stupid." Edit, I am the a-hole, but for a separate reason. I know what she is capable of. Some people you can just tell are there to live life as it comes. I know I am going to be successful, and I don't care what you say. I just don't want her to be a financial burden for me in 30 years because she hasn't saved enough for retirement and then constantly bothers me about it. I would gladly provide for her, by the way. I just don't want to be responsible for her entire family later. It's all selfish reasons, and I admit it. Yes, you know, the financial advice from the unemployed 18-year-old, as some people in the comments do be saying. Yes, save and invest, I will be successful. Yeah, great work. Let people know how that one turns out, though. I don't want to be taking financial advice from somebody who don't even pay their own health insurance. Save this, invest in that. Yeah, just wait until you have to pay your own bills, dude. Just a bit of a heads up, it's a little harder than you think. My friend makes fun of me for rejecting American women. I regularly get made fun of by my friends for wanting to be with a woman who can work hard, keep me with... I regularly get made fun of by my friends for wanting to be with a woman who can work hard, keep up with me on hikes, maybe lift weights with me, likes working / playing in the sun. I value heartfulness, perseverance, and adventurousness. I do not want a woman who complains about the slightest discomfort 24/7, takes hours to get herself ready, and refuses to try new things, etc. Everyone tells me I want a man or an alpha female, and this usually elicits a lot of laughter and ridicule, as if I'm wanting something that doesn't exist and has never existed. My friends, mostly married men, tell me that I just don't appreciate women for what they are. They tell me that women who are capable of holding their own in a male work environment have probably slept with most of their coworkers. Meanwhile, their wives don't even do the feminine work of cleaning house, cooking, dishes, etc. Instead, they do all of that themselves and still have the balls to vent about it to me. And then they tell me I need to get married soon because in 3 years, I'll be 30. Sometimes I feel very demoralized because the only women I have ever met who fit my desired type have been foreigners, and I only speak English and have never left my state. But I know that if I put in the work, I'll find a woman I can love. I just don't even care if she's beautiful. All of the American women I've had relationships with have had such low tolerances for stress and such narrow windows of openness to new experiences that I felt that I was being trapped and spiritually imprisoned by them. I could never be with one for very long. Why is having to pay for and support such a parasitic creature meant to be a privilege? I understand that daintiness, weakness, bee-ness, etc. are all classically female traits, but that does not mean that I have to accept it. I genuinely prefer being single and free forever than bind myself to somebody I dislike. Yeah, dude, just wait until you find out that that's a two-way street and nobody's gonna want to stick around with you if you keep on acting like that also. But with that, that is going to have to be it with the video. If you guys would like to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on them notifications. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.